Hello, you are welcome to this episode of JobIQ. On JobIQ, we bridge the gap between getting your degree and getting a job. One of the challenges that happens, with job hunting is that over time, if you do not get a job on time, you start having unnecessary gaps in your CV. These gaps have implication. Today, we are going to be looking into how to avoid this type of situation. To do justice to this topic, I have someone with me in the studios, our HR consultant of many years, Adeteniola Olorunfemi. Hi, Teniola.
Hello, sir.
You are
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you,
Yes.
viewers, for being here
Yeah,
with
every
us.
time we have you, it's always an exciting moment. And you always have a lot to share. All right, thank you. So, viewers, if you have any comments, and information, feedback, kindly drop in the comment section. All right, so one of the challenges I have seen is someone presenting their resume or CV to a recruiter or for a job application, and I learned that they don't like seeing gaps in your CV. Is it true?
This is very true. And many times people don't understand it because they're like, life happens.
Hmm.
Life happens. So people can have gaps. Either someone was laid off, either they had to have maternity leaves, just different things, maybe a health issue, or they just did not get their desired job. And I've had people say, you HR managers, you need to be very lenient. And I explained to them that the idea behind finding a job or having a job is that you are of value in some capacity.
Hmm.
So the idea that the signal you're sending to your employer or whoever is looking at your CV is that you've not been of value to anybody in that time space. It could be 1 year, it could be 5 years. It means that you were not as innovative as you claim to be in your CV. You wrote
Hmm.
innovative, outstanding, smart, hardworking, and they're like, for 1 year, except you have a very valid explanation, maybe you went to school, masters, or something that is reflected in your CV. When we look down, we can see that, oh, yes, you went to school. It becomes hard to truly trust the fact that you're actually valuable and innovative in that sense. So when I explain that to job seekers, they're like, okay, I get the point. So yes, HR managers don't like
Do
gaps.
you know that there are those who have never worked since they left school, and it's been 3 years, it's been 5 years, this can really be a big problem.
Yes.
How do we mitigate this kind of problem?
Yes. Thank you so much. And I see that this is usually the case many times for people. But when we talk about value, it's not confined to just an organized workplace. So many times people don't know that even the pepper seller in the market can have a CV if they
Hmm.
decide to, right? They are solving a problem.
Yeah.
Yes, so you might not have a formal job for 5 years, but there might be somewhere you're either volunteering or at church or a business you're running with your parents or on your own. So you need to look inward and say, what value do I actually bring, and how can I connect it to relate well with the recruiter. So you might just have a business on the side, you're selling water. What you're doing every day,
Hmm.
you are talking to suppliers, you are stocking this water, you're making sure that your store is safe, you're making sure that the water is clean, you're making sure that there's proper accounting,
Hmm.
you're making sure that, so you now look into the sectors and say, okay, I want to apply for, let's say, an admin role. You think of the elements of the job you're doing now.
Yes.
If it's that you're selling water, the elements of the job, what admin elements do I have right now? I have retained customers. You've had the same customers for 5 years. That is a big feat. You are
Hmm.
retaining customers.
Yeah, customer relationship.
Exactly. So that works into, you find a way to feed it in. And when we are writing your CV, you have to think of the points you write as an achievement. You have to look at what you're doing beyond being a task, but
Hmm.
an achievement. So if you are selling water, the achievement there is not that you're just providing water, is that you are making sure that people have healthy options of water to drink.
Yes.
You are maintaining a household health with that.
It could also be that if it's bottled water, like I sell 1,000 units of bottled water, say a month,
Yeah.
showing your sales
Exactly,
capacity.
showing quantity, your sales capacity, the quality of that you bring to the table. What differentiates you from the person next door that is doing the same business? So these things are transferable skills, you know. And I also believe that you should be learning a skill, maybe learning something to make yourself better for that job you're seeking for. It's
Hmm.
also good to join academies that are doing maybe data analytics training or doing anything that pertains to your field, so that you can, in which you don't have to have a job to even do, so you can have that in your CV as experiences gathered from certificates.
It shows you are not redundant.
Exactly. So value is what we're talking about here,
Hmm.
right? And that works if you know how to play to your strengths in that area. It would make a difference.
Very great, very great. So I like what you said about not handling things like I'm just doing some task, but
Yeah.
you look at what you have been doing from the point of view of accomplishment.
Accomplishment,
I
yes.
think it cuts across every sphere of life. Like
Yes.
even if I have been raising kids, it's an accomplishment that I have
Yes.
raised two beautiful children,
Exactly.
for
You
instance.
have contributed to the society in a responsible manner. Your children
Hmm.
have not just become a statistic in the, you've raised people that are, at least you can say that the integrity of your area is secured
Hmm.
because of those children. That's a great feat.
Even if they are young, healthy children. I've
Exactly.
raised two elderly children.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
fantastic. I think it also applies to those who have a job. When you're preparing your CV,
Hmm.
not just to describe things as tasks, but highlight your accomplishment.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is very
Yes.
great.
Yes.
That's very. But there's an issue. Someone is saying that I don't have enough capital to even start a small business. I don't want to do a business. I don't have a flair for business. I want to get a job. Are there ways? Maybe we should start this way. Why is it that some people find it hard to find a job?
Amazing. That's a very important question. People find it hard to find a job. I think the first thing is they don't want it as much as they claim, or they don't act like they want it as much as they claim. There's this presumption that I come out of school, the next thing is that I get a job, like it's going to be handed over to you.
Hmm.
There is an intentionality with looking for a job, and which involves also reaching out to some staffing agencies, some job agencies that also have your data, and they can reach out to you when demand meets supply. So there is the intentionality is one thing, right? And two is, as we've said in just some minutes ago, it shows, if you find yourself valuable, it shows. So there's a thing about inherent self-esteem and value. Ask any good interviewer, they can smell when you're not confident. They can
Hmm.
smell when you're not sure of yourself. And I even found out of late is that now getting your foot in the door, which is getting your CV and getting applied for, is not even the problem of most people now. It's now to communicate that value when they are seated in front of a panel. So
Hmm.
some people, they've been job searching. They get to the first stage. It's either they don't pass the test or they don't pass the
Is it
interview
that they
stage.
don't prepare well enough or what?
Exactly. So I think they don't prepare well enough, and sometimes you overestimate your abilities. Sitting down in
Hmm.
front of somebody is a different ball game. It's a different ball game. You overestimate your ability, so you need someone that you can rehearse your answers with. So you might have your answers written down, and you can't rehearse it. So you need someone who can rehearse it with preparation and get a feedback. And also your environment, the way you look, the way you dress to that interview also matters a
Hmm.
lot. So the job preparation process is everything in between. You have to make sure that some people, and I need to talk about this because we're in a very digital age. Some people, your social footprint is not good.
Hmm.
Your social footprint is not good. You've not managed your brand, personal brand online. You just post anything. and you think that recruiters don't do background checks. Very important companies and multinationals, they do background checks. They can't have people that are not, forward thinking in a society come and apply and stay in their jobs. So some people, you've not managed your presence online, and now it's becoming a problem more than ever. We see people losing jobs just because of what they said on Twitter or
Hmm.
X now as it is. So yes, it's a myriad of things. So your physical presence, your online presence, and your paper presence. I remember I call that pop. I usually say there's this three factors: pop, your paper presence,
Paper
that's
presence.
documentation,
Mm-hmm.
your online presence, that's
Yes,
everywhere, and there's your physical
the
presence.
physical presence. And then the issue of intentionality that you mentioned is a very, very important aspect of it, because it takes the intentionality to manage your personal brand.
Yes.
This is a very important thing that we are striking right now. Your personal brand is important. It matters. What's your personal brand? It's how people, it's the perception of people about you, the perception of your recruiter or employer about you. Many people think it doesn't matter. It all
Matters.
matters. So you're a product. You need to see yourself as a product, a valuable product. If you are offering value, someone will pay for it.
Yes.
That is really amazing.
That's it. That
If
is it.
you have a value to offer, people will pay for it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that leads to what you said about taking courses, trying to improve yourself.
Yes.
You might be doing something in the interim, but you want to learn something to prepare you for your desired job.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great.
If someone has a track record of doing something consistently, for example, you have two candidates that are applying for a sales role. One person has sales role, one person has digital marketing, one person has content creation, and that same person still has marketing or admin skill, and somebody else has accounting, sales, something that is not in that line of work.
Mm-hmm.
You would be more disposed to picking the person that
Who has
has.
shown consistency over time.
But what we do with CVs these days is that we just lump everything that you've done because you just want them to know that you can do everything.
Hmm.
But the idea is I have to perceive you as someone that is building a career, not just jumping from job to job.
It's even distracting, you know.
So you have to perceive that someone that has a career path. So you don't be surprised. Some people have three CVs. Some people have three CVs. And these three CVs are some things similar but not so coherent. So they try to make sure that their chances are higher. And you must also think that you're not the only person. I think sometimes we forget
Yes. You are
that
not the only
you're not
person.
the only person applying.
Hmm.
So that's very important. I'm not the only person applying. What would give me an edge? For example, before we started this show, we're talking about French.
Hmm.
Some people have learned languages. They don't see that they need to put, and you want to work in a multinational. It's
Hmm.
very important to state it there that you
It is.
either have basic knowledge or intermediary knowledge of French. Your proficiency in speaking, writing is very important.
So let me, to allude to what you just said, I have an uncle who is a professor, and is a professor in the United States. So his school was thinking of starting something in France. So as they were thinking, oh, we are starting our doctorate program in France and all that, we need someone who can integrate in that environment. He said, no, I can. They said, really? He started speaking French to them and showed them that he has passed A1, A2 in French, and said, no, you are the guy for the job.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, you never know when the opportunity or what will give you an edge.
exactly. And in the sense of value, immediately his value has increased. Therefore, his pay will increase.
Hmm.
It can't compare with people that were in the same level. So, okay, you say, okay, send somebody else then to the France
Hmm.
because now they need him. So what company you need to say they have to need me? It's not an emotional. People think job hunting is an emotional thing. It's not. It's a thing of does what you give me, your supply, does it meet my demand?
Someone I Yeah, someone appeared for my interview some years ago, and he said, "My father is late. I'm the first born of the family. I have three younger siblings. I have to take care of my mom and support my siblings and all of that. Please help me to get this job. And I was doing an interview under camera. There was no way on earth, if he had any chance, he destroyed
He
that chance
did.
even by himself by what he just did. Wow. We need to understand that getting a job is like a contest.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
competitive.
it's competitive.
So
Yes.
you have to stand out.
It's not your right.
It's not your right.
Yes, because people think once they get the BSc or whatever your tertiary education is your
Mhm.
right to get a job. No.
All right. So there's something about staffing companies. How can they help us reduce or avoid this gap in our CVs?
Amazing. It's also part of intentionality when you try and look for a middleman. So in essence, what staffing companies are like middlemen. So they either help the company to get staff or to get employees rather, or they themselves do these tasks for these companies and they employ you themselves.
Hmm.
So that's an outsourcing function. What you can do in this sense is that you put your details on their website or however they gather this data, and you let them know what you're interested in, your salary range. It's always quite detailed,
Hmm.
right? And then you have all that information. And thank God for technology. Once a request that has your skill set in it comes in, it just links up and they send you an email. So it's a very wise step to take, because I mean it's job search. There are no hard and fast rules to how you get a job. So you
Hmm.
might be looking at LinkedIn and thinking that's where it is at. You might be, in fact, I usually say that people get jobs from comment sections a lot.
Comment section.
Yes, comment sections, just
Hmm.
selling yourself well and interacting well and bringing a bright another view. So when you're commenting on LinkedIn, you just comment one line, great, thumbs up, I love it. No, you add to the conversation.
Hmm.
And then you don't have to be thinking, don't always think that whatever you have to say is irrelevant.
Hmm.
No, as long as you have proper understanding of what you're explaining, you should put it down. So yes, staffing companies, they serve as that middleman, and it helps you to short circuit all that process of reaching out. Some companies don't even use their direct websites. They just like would use staffing companies so that they take off that burden. And when you get to the final stage, you might now interact with that company.
Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing. Most of the time, you have to research them, check them out, ask for staffing agencies online, or many times they have very strong presence on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
But when you know, check research, just use Google, use ChatGPT, you can find these staffing agencies and fill in your details. So it's yeah, they are very easy to find.
Do you also have to take some aptitude tests, or is the application easy or it's equally rigorous?
So it was easier before, but as we say, competition is stiff.
Hmm.
Stiff. So now they're taking aptitude tests just to sieve out people that are, doing better than the others. So yes, you have to prepare for some tests, but I believe they also try to give a fair chance, so they don't make those tests so hard. But I want to just tell you that you should prepare for those
Prepare
tests.
hard.
Prepare hard,
Hmm.
for those tests so that you can get in front of the right employers. Also because these staffing agencies, their reputation is on the line.
Hmm.
So they need more authentic people that will actually do the job well. Because as you know, many people give people to write their CV, and then when it's time for them to show up,
People give their CVs out, to others to write. I mean, if you prepare for a job, it shows you are really interested in
yes,
getting the job.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So the test you take it, and then you're able to get the job if it comes out.
Amazing, amazing. Teniola, thank you so much for this interesting
My
discussion.
pleasure.
All right, so I'm sure someone out there will appreciate all the information you have given us on staffing
Yes.
agencies. Viewers out there, thank you again for tuning in to this episode of Job IQ. We have outlined a number of ways we can mitigate, the problem of having gaps in our CV. The job you get through the staffing agency can even be the stepping stone into your dream job. Till we meet again, keep learning, keep shining.